Have you read a story in the Draoithe Saga and come away with a classic case of immersion after effect? Let me guess, there are questions which remain unanswered even as the magic expanded, adding another layer to the dream. The grand desire to turn the page to discover what happened next ended with the last leaf turned. If you're asking where the remedy for the book Hangover is, you know the answer: read another story. But you aren't ready for the next tale, not yet. The dust needs to settle before you pick up the next volume. So you have found your way here. You aren't alone. Even the author can't get enough. As you hear this, Ophelia writes on. But allow me to offer you a possibility, a reflection on the tale you recently finished, and a way to revisit the story to ease the story blues. Welcome to the Draoithe Saga Afterparty. Warning, spoiler alerts ahead. Turn back now if you wish to read the story blind.
Okay, let's step into a world today where, well, myths and legends aren't just stories, they're real.
Right, they walk among us, and destiny, it can show up in some really intense and surprising ways, like an electric storm, you might say.
Exactly. Today we're diving into parts of Ophelia Key's Electric Storm. Now this is Volume 10 of her Valkyrie Writers miniseries.
And that itself is just one piece of a much, much bigger puzzle, the Draoithe Saga. It's this incredibly complex story world.
Huge, yeah.
Huh.
Paranormal romance, magical realism, urban fantasy, all woven together. So our mission for you today is basically to cut through all that complexity. We want to pull out the key stuff, surprising facts about fated mates, these immortal kingdoms, the power of connection.
Right, give you the core insights without you having to wade through, thousands of pages. A shortcut to getting it.
Just a quick heads up though, the source material definitely goes into adult themes. Expect some fantasy violence, some explicit situations. It's part of the genre.
Yeah, typical for paranormal romance, but good to know going in. It's a saga filled with heroic achievement, but it doesn't shy away from the darker or more intense aspects.
Okay, so let's get started. To really understand what's going on, we first need to talk about Draoithe itself. What is this place?
Okay, so Draoithe, it's not just a location on a map, it's an immortal kingdom. It exists in what's called the Lean Deal. Think of it as a hidden magical dimension alongside our world.
A hidden world. And Draoithe is a sanctuary there.
Precisely. It's a retreat, a place of refuge for immortals who are in trouble or just need help. But it's more than just a safe house.
Right. You mentioned its goal, something about balance.
Yes. Its main purpose, its sort of driving mission, is to restore the magical balance of the dream. That's what the series calls it.
The dream. Okay, so it's got this grander purpose.
Definitely. And the way the whole saga is structured reflects that complexity. It's not just one linear story.
Ah, right. You said it's compartmentalized.
Yeah, into different mini-series and volumes that often happen at the same time. They interlock, so you get different viewpoints on the same events.
Which means Electric Storm, the one we're focusing on, connects heavily with other stories.
Exactly. Things happening in Electric Storm are directly tied to Angry King, Smoldering Frost, Love Eternal. It's like a big, intricate web. You really see events from multiple angles.
Gotcha. Okay, so with that world set up, let's meet the key players in this story. First up, dragon shifters.
Right. Powerful beings, very adaptable. Our main guy here is Lightning.
Lightning. And he's old.
Oh, yeah. 629 years old.
Yeah.
So think about the history he's seen. And, funny enough, his job, corporate lawyer for Draoithe.
A 600-year-old dragon shifter lawyer?
I know, right? It's a great mix. He's described as tall, like 6'5", sandy blonde hair, blue eyes. Oh, and the source even mentions his scent. Tequila and willow.
Tequila and willow, specific. Yeah. But the really key thing about these dragons, you mentioned a restriction.
Yes, this is crucial. Ages ago, a shaman put this magical bind on them, an oath.
An oath? What did it do?
It meant they were forced to be oath-bound to a king. They couldn't even shift into their dragon form, or fly, without being tied to a ruler.
Wow. So a dragon who might not be able to fly? That's a huge limitation.
Huge. It defines a lot of Lightning's past and, what he wants freedom.
Okay, so that's Lightning. Who's the other key player? Aria.
Aria, yes. Also known as Cloud. She's a wind elemental, part of a set of 4: earth, wind, water, fire. They're spirit wielders.
And she's younger.
Much younger, yeah. 32. She's described as 5'1", gray hair, striking golden eyes, and smells like magnolia blossoms. In the human world, she runs a coffee shop in San Antonio.
A coffee shop owner who wields electricity.
Right. Her elemental power lets her control electricity, but also absorb different kinds of energy. We'll see how important that becomes.
And there's something critical about these 4 elementals together, isn't there?
Yes, this is a major point. The magic binds them. If one of the 4 dies, the magic takes the others.
Whoa. Okay, so if one goes, they all go.
Essentially, yes. Their survival is completely intertwined. It raises the stakes incredibly high for everything they do.
No kidding. That changes everything. How do you even live like that? Knowing your life depends on 3 other people you might barely know.
It creates this constant underlying tension, this fragility. Even amidst all their power, it definitely shapes their relationships and decisions.
Okay, so we have an ancient dragon yearning for freedom and a young elemental whose life is tied to her sisters. Let's get into how they meet, this fated encounter.
It starts dramatically. Lightning is on a mission to rescue Arya. She's being held captive in some dark warehouse.
He just finds her.
He finds her bound and gagged, but the source emphasizes her eyes. Those golden eyes just capture him instantly. He feels this overwhelming need to protect her.
How protective are we talking?
Extremely. To make sure she's safe, he actually bites one of the captors, turns him dragon-sworn.
Dragon-sworn, what's that?
It's basically sentencing the guy to eternal servitude to a dragon, a pretty harsh magical punishment. It shows Lightning is not messing around when it comes to her safety.
Okay, yeah, that's intense. So he rescues her? She must be traumatized?
Completely. But she finds safety first in his arms, and then later they get her to the sanctuary of Draoithe.
And the warehouse?
They burn it down. Make it look like arson to cover their tracks from the police. Practical magic users.
Right. Okay, so they're safe in Draoithe. Then what? Does he explain things?
He does. He tells her about life mates, this concept for immortal shifters. It's like magic pairs them with someone.
So they don't have to be alone forever.
Exactly, a fated connection. And Lightning reveals he's known about a prophecy concerning his life mate for, get this, 6 centuries.
It's 100 years he's been waiting.
Waiting, and finding Arya in that warehouse. That was it, the prophecy fulfilled.
Wow. How does he prove it? Or how does she know it's true?
Well, this is a really cool scene, the Dragonfire test.
Dragonfire test. Sounds dangerous.
It would be, for anyone else. He literally ignites these black and purple flames in his hand, and he lets Arya touch them. They don't burn her at all. That's the proof. Only his true life mate could touch his fire like that.
That's quite a confirmation. Very visual. So, okay, she's his life mate, destiny fulfilled, but what does that really mean for them day to day?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's not just poof, happy ending. It validates the connection, sure, and it shows Arya has some serious power of her own to nullify Dragonfire like that.
Right.
But it really just sets the stage. They still have to figure out how to build a relationship, navigate trust, power dynamics. Destiny points the way, but they still have to walk the path.
And things get complicated pretty quickly, right? The morning after the rescue.
Yeah, this is memorable. She wakes up in his arms, still probably processing everything, and somehow her electricity, it accidentally zaps him.
Zaps him, like a static shock.
A bit more than that. The source says it causes him to, well, ejaculate. Instantly.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Yeah.
awkward.
Extremely awkward. They're both totally mortified, confused. But it's not just a weird incident.
No, there's more to it.
Yeah, it reveals something fundamental about how their powers interact. See, Arya, being an elemental, can absorb sexual energy. It makes her stronger.
Okay.
And Lightning's magic, almost instinctively, starts working to absorb her anxiety, block her nightmares from the kidnapping trauma.
So this accident actually shows their magic is already trying to connect and support each other.
Exactly. On this really basic, energetic level, it blurs the lines between, physical response and magical necessity. It sets up a really unique dynamic from the get-go.
Okay, so their connection is intense, magically proven, and already physically interactive.
Yeah.
Where does it go from there? Lightning makes an offer, right?
It does. A huge one. He offers to make Arya his Valkyrie.
His Valkyrie. What does that involve? Is it like the myths?
Sort of, but specific to this world. Becoming his Valkyrie means she'd gain wings, dragonfire. Basically, his magic gets added to hers. It creates a permanent, unbreakable bond between them.
Permanent bond. Can he just do that?
No, absolutely not. The source is really clear. It cannot be forced. She has to consent fully. And it's not easy. It's described as painful, intense. It involves biting, sharing blood.
Wow. A real merging of beings.
Totally.
Yeah.
But interestingly, before they get to that, something else happens. This concept of elemental binding comes up.
Elemental binding. What's that?
We see it with Arya's sister, Ice, the water elemental. she binds her dragon char
Binds him. How?
as an energy source. It essentially gives the elemental an unlimited power supply from the dragon, ensures her strength, her survival.
An unlimited power supply. That sounds useful. Is it bad for the dragon?
It's described as painful for the dragon, yeah, like a near-death experience during the binding.
Ouch. So why bring this up? Does Arya do this?
Yes, and this is what's fascinating. Arya chooses to bind lightning first, before the Valkyrie transformation.
She binds him as her energy source.
Exactly. It's a really interesting move. It establishes her power, her control, her confidence right at the start of their formal bond. It kind of flips the script on who you might expect to be dominant in a dragon life-mate pairing.
Huh. Okay, so she binds him first. Then comes the Valkyrie transformation.
Then comes the Valkyrie transformation. And yeah, the source material details it quite explicitly. He bites her neck, drinks her blood.
And she drinks his life force in return.
Right. It's this intense primal ritual. And through it, she transforms. She gets these soft, gray, owl-like wings.
Owl-like, not dragon-like.
Owl-like. Linking her to the wind, her element. Their minds connect, souls fuse. More blood is exchanged to seal it all.
And this sealing, it does something for lightning too, right? Besides the bond.
Yes. This is huge for him. Completing the bond breaks that ancient shamanistic restriction. He can finally fly freely, shift whenever he wants, without needing to be oath-bound to a king anymore.
After centuries, he's finally free because of her.
Because of their bond, yeah. It's a massive moment for him. But there's one more twist.
What now?
After the transformation, after they're fully linked, Arya realizes lightning can now generate electricity. Blue electricity, different from her golden sparks.
Wait, he gets her kind of power.
A version of it, yeah. He didn't have that before. It's a direct result of their union.
How does that work? What do they make of it?
It definitely surprises them. And it raises questions about, how shared power works between them. Is it hers? Is it his?
And Lightning has a theory.
He does. His conclusion is pretty profound, actually. He thinks the magic itself recognizes Arya as the stronger one in some way, and it granted him this ability as part of their balance.
Wow. So the magic sees her strength and gifts him something related to it. That really does flip the usual power dynamic narrative.
Completely. It shows that in this world, power isn't just about brute force or control. It's about synergy, complementarity, how magic flows between connected beings.
Okay, so they're bonded, transformed, powers shared, and enhanced. They need to figure out their place now, right? Within Draoithe.
Exactly. And the next step is a formal one. Lightning and Char, that's Ice's dragon mate, they both formally swear fealty to Luke.
Luke, the dire wolf king of Draoithe.
Right. They join his druid pack.
Why is that significant for them? Especially Lightning.
Well, for Lightning, remember those 300 years he couldn't fly properly? Being forced under that iron collar of the oath? Joining Luke's pack isn't about servitude. It's about alliance. It gives the dragons a voice, a seat at the table. It's true belonging, true freedom within a community.
A new beginning after centuries of restriction. What about Arya's sisters? How are they settling in?
We get glimpses. Flower, the earth elemental, she's immediately possessive of her mate, Ember. Traps him with an oak tree growing inside.
Traps him with a tree. Okay, that's one way to claim your man.
Right. Bit intense. Meanwhile, Ice, the water elemental, seems to be finding genuine comfort and safety in Draoithe, especially with Char. She explicitly says he makes her feel safer than anywhere.
That's good. But there's still one sister missing from this picture of safety, isn't there? Spark.
Yes, Spark, the fire elemental, and this is the dark cloud hanging over everything. She's still out there, alone in San Antonio.
Alone and being hunted.
Apparently. Constantly moving, trying to evade these unknown followers. Luke, the king, is really worried about her.
Because if Spark dies...
the magic takes the other three. Arya, Ice, Flower. It's this constant looming threat. The stakes are astronomical.
So what do? Can Draoithe protect her?
They're trying to figure that out. In the meantime, the leadership, the inner circle at Draoithe, decides to open the sanctuary more broadly, offer refuge to more people.
Why? How does that help Spark?
It's partly about easing the magical pressure on Luke the King, but also bringing in more allies, strengthening Draoithe overall, and having these incredibly powerful elementals like Arya and her sisters there. That adds some serious defensive power to the kingdom.
Makes sense. Build up the fortress while trying to rescue the missing piece.
Exactly. So as this part of the story wraps up, you see Arya and the others starting to find a rhythm, a sense of normal within Draoithe's walls.
A fragile normal, though.
Very fragile. Because that threat to Spark means the electric storm of the title is always brewing. their peace is precarious.
Wow, what a journey through just these excerpts. We've covered a lot.
We really have. We've gone deep into Ophelia Key's world, touching on destiny, power, the meaning of love and sacrifice when magic is real.
And hopefully, you now have a much clearer picture of these dragon shifters, the elementals, what a life-mate bond truly means in this context.
And the really high stakes involved in just, keeping this immortal kingdom safe and balanced.
You've definitely got the shortcut now, the inside scoop on this complex universe. From accidental magical side effects.
Right, to trees growing in living rooms. It's a world full of surprises.
It really makes you think, though. In a world where your destiny, your perfect match, is literally chosen for you by magic, does real freedom come from fighting that fate? Or is it about leaning into it, embracing the impossible connection?
That's a great question. And also, what does it truly mean to belong somewhere or to someone when your very existence, your power, is so deeply tied up with someone else's, for better or worse?
Definitely something to chew on. Lots to think about there, even after we close the book.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for your support. For more, visit opheliakey.com. Welcome to the dream. Sincerely. Okay.